Thus God is also one of creation's creatures, who, according to logical human opinion, has no beginning and no end. And they went across the sea and came ashore at Gennesaret. And as the people in that region became aware of him, they sent word throughout the land and brought to him all who were sick. Then they asked him if they might just touch the hem of his garment, so they would be healed. And thus it came to pass, those who touched the hem of his garment became well. Chapter 17. Human Commandments and the Laws of Creation. Pharisees and scribes from Jerusalem came to Jmmanuel and said, "Why do your disciples disregard the statutes of the elders?" He answered, saying to them, "Why do you violate the laws of creation by following your statutes? Moses said, according to the laws of mankind, you must honor your father and mother, but those who unjustly dishonor their father and mother shall die. The teaching of the laws of creation is this: you shall honor your father and mother, but whosoever does not honor their father and mother shall be expelled from the family and from the society of the righteous. But you teach, say to one's father or mother, I donate to the religious cult what I owe on your behalf, thus I am no longer indebted to you. Therefore you wrongly teach that people no longer need to honor their father or mother. Thus you have traded the laws of creation for your own statutes and lust for power. You hypocrites, Isaiah has prophesied quite accurately about you, when he said, the people of Israel give lip service to creation, but their hearts and their knowledge are far from it. They serve their cult in vain, because they teach such falsified and untruthful teachings, which are no more than man-made laws. And Jmmanuel called the people to him and said, Listen and understand. The teachings of the scribes and Pharisees are false and untruthful, for they preach to you only man-made statutes, which are not the laws of creation. Thereupon, his disciples came to him and said, Are you aware that the scribes and the Pharisees were offended by your words when they heard them? They went out to bear witness against you and to have you killed because of your teachings. But he answered and spoke, All plants that do not live according to the laws of creation will dry up and rot. Leave them be, they are blind leaders of the blind. But when a blind man leads another blind man, both will fall into the pit. But let us go away, so that the henchmen remain without booty. Then Peter answered him, saying, Please interpret your speech about the plants and the blind men for us. But Jmmanuel reprimanded his disciples and said, Are you, too, still without wisdom, and therefore also ignorant and doubting in recognition, comprehension and understanding? You have been with me for a long time now, but you still lack the ability to think and recognize the truth. Truly, I say to you, you yourselves will do much toward falsifying my teachings in the future. In your knowledge you barely exceed the other people. Haven't you realized yet that all the parables and speeches have a spiritual meaning and are therefore about the spiritual life of humans? Oh, you have little knowledge. Does your understanding still not extend beyond the stupidity of the people? Beware, lest you see me in a false light and accuse me of an origin from which I could not have descended. Chapter 18. The Pharisees demand a sign. Jmmanuel departed and escaped to the region of Sidon and Tyre. And behold, the Sadducees and Pharisees approached him and demanded that he let them see a sign of his spiritual power. But he answered, saying, In the evening you say, Tomorrow will be a fair day, because the sky is red. And in the morning you say, Today will be foul weather, because the sky is red and cloudy. So you can judge by the appearance of the sky, why then can you not also judge by the signs of the time? This wicked and unfaithful generation is seeking a sign. No sign shall be given to it except for the sign of Jonah, who disappeared alive into the belly of the fish, dwelled alive in its belly and emerged alive again into the light. And he left them and went away. The Levites and the Pharisees. When they sailed across the sea and arrived at the other shore, They had forgotten to take along some bread. But Jmmanuel said to them, "Take care and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees." They spoke to each other and said, "This must refer to our not having brought along bread or anything else to eat." When Jmmanuel heard this, he was angry and said, "O you of little knowledge, why does it worry you that you have no bread? Don't you yet understand, and can't you imagine the meaning of my words? Are you then of such little knowledge, and without understanding, that you can't recognize the meaning? Do you still not understand, and do you intend not to understand for all times? Don't you remember the 5 leaves of bread and the 3 fish divided among the 5,000, and how many basketfuls you then saved? How is it you don't understand that I am not speaking to you about the bread you eat every day? But I tell you this, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees." Then they finally understood that he had not said for them to beware of the leaven of the bread, but of the false and adulterated teachings of the scribes and Pharisees. Peter's faith. Jmmanuel came into the area of Caesarea Philippi and asked his disciples, "Who do the people say that I am?" They said, "Some say that you are John the Baptist, others that you are Elijah, and still others that you are Jeremiah or one of the old prophets." And he said to them, "But who do you say that I am?" Simon Peter answered, saying, "You are the prophesied Messiah and a Son of the living God, who is the spiritual ruler of the 3 human lineages." Jmmanuel became angry and answered, saying to him, "O you unfortunate one, my teachings have not revealed this to you, for I instructed you in the truth. And I also tell you, you certainly are a faithful disciple, but your understanding must be compared to that of a child. You are Peter, and I cannot build my teachings on your rock. You will open the portals of misunderstanding, so that the people will be overcome by your mistaken interpretation of my teachings and will follow them and live according to falsified teachings. I cannot give you the key to the spiritual kingdom, otherwise you would open false locks and draw on portals with it. I am not the son of a spiritual ruler of 3 human lineages, and therefore not the Son of God. Furthermore, the sole spiritual power is creation and never a human being. Therefore free yourself from these erroneous teachings and learn the truth. My mother is Mary, who truly conceived me through a guardian angel, a descendant of our ancestors, who traveled here from the far reaches of the universe, and my earthly father is Joseph, who only acts as my paternal guardian." Then he warned his disciples never to tell or wrongly assume such things, and that they were not allowed to spread Peter's confused teachings. Proclamation of the Passion. From that time onward, Jmmanuel began to tell his disciples that he would have to go to Jerusalem and suffer much from the elders, scribes and chief priests, because he could not help but bring his teachings to them. And Peter took him aside and spoke to him angrily. "May God or creation prevent that. This must not happen to you, because they will catch and torture and kill you." But he turned to Peter, became angry and said, "Get away from me, Satan, for you are an annoyance, because you are thinking not in spiritual but in human terms. Simon Peter, again you make me angry and show your ignorance thinking.